the iconic V12 Lamborghini Murcielago, an iconic poster car for most of us as a kid, or the straight-piped Lamborghini Urus, which is the poster car for a lot of streamers and rappers, you know, modern social media sort. Two different eras, two different trends, ideas, and types of cars in general. One's more of an Audi, and one's more of a get your kicked out of you piss missile. That sounds amazing. But the kicker is both of them sound really good. And you would never expect the sound that comes out of the straight-piped Urus. Yeah, they're way closer than I thought they would be in how cool they actually are as sounding. Doing another part from the S Klub LA Garage Tour, Collection Tour. We're doing a Rev Battle between a V12 Lamborghini Murcielago or a straight-piped Lamborghini Urus. It was way closer than I thought, and we're gonna get into it.
This is like a fire check.
Turning on the Murcielago. Which one sounds better, Murcielago or straight pipe Ferrari over there? Popping and banging, dude. I didn't know she pops like that. The splitters are going so close to each other, it's like Tetris just moving around this. The V12, the V12. I think one of the best sounding Lamborghinis they've made, honestly. So this is one of the first ones that this guy has seen all assembled here and put together by the incredible team over here at S Klub, doing their one-of-one custom builds. They're doing everything you guys see here, but you guys know Lamborghinis are my favorite. We got a crazy wide body kit on it. We got HREs here. When did you guys get this done? Is this like, this is new, right?
Yeah, this is a brand new for SEMA 2025.
Oh,
together
wow.
with the final boss, we brought this car and the final boss into the toy booth this year.
I got it. This one was a little bit older than it was, but no, this is a new, brand new build. So how long did this take?
Final boss, we was swapping the whole body. That was 6 months.
Yeah.
This car was 4 months.
Wow.
Since we started, since we brought it to the shop, and since we rolled it out, so it was 4 months.
Wow, that's incredible. And you guys got some like, this isn't just like, they just did upholstery on the interior and just painted it or whatever. We've got some like pretty serious custom parts to it. I mean, I've never seen the, you know, roof scoop like come out like this on a Murcielago. Okay. Full carbon fiber, and it just, the air goes straight in there. Does that sound crazy when you're driving it, or what? Like, sure. Is this just a...
It's basically sucking the air into the engine compartment, but because of the straight noise transfer, you can definitely hear better what's going on in the engine bay. This is a custom one-of-one carbon piece made specifically for this car. So first the mold was created, and then took the carbon shape and ended up as a functional piece.
You guys did it here? Did you do a like a...
No, everything was here.
Wow.
Everything here. We have a
You'd never expect it, by the way. In between everything else, you've got this thing tucked away in the corner that's like, they open up the gates and it's a little plastic resto mod heaven in there. Compared to everything else, they're actually producing these things and not just like importing it, all of it. These
This is the OEM, so we repainted the whole car, we reassembled the whole car. Everything was taken apart. The engine cage was also repainted. Yeah, one white body pieces produced for this car in here, in-house.
Even the little speedometer and the whole, that is all paint matched to the interior of the car.
Dashboard is re-wrapped. Custom
wing here, and the carbon fiber, and the
all carbon fiber diffusers.
And this stuff is like hand painted.
Yes, yes.
So you can tell. Do you know what the hardest thing about this this build was?
I mean, the hardest thing is probably the white body. It's a lot of complicated pieces you need to manufacture and match to each other. And test fit it with the car multiple times, adjust them. That's always.
This one wasn't 3D printed like the other one.
No, this is completely handmade.
Wow. The first of its kind, or?
For this car, yes, this is unique. So you will not see this white body on any other Lamborghini Murcielago. This is unique to this car, not going to be replicated.
And then you said the Urus sounds gnarly. I gotta be honest, I'm not an Urus person. I don't think I'll ever be an Urus person. If you want a Lamborghini, I think you should get the shit beat out of you. If you like sports cars and stuff, there's gotta be some compromises, and you gotta have that low, you know, brutal feeling. For you and I,
okay,
Lamborghini's both of our favorite brands?
Yes,
right?
Lamborghini is one of my favorite brands. I've been a Lamborghini guy since I was a kid. Bought and sold every type of Lamborghini possible. So let me tell you about the Revuelto. I'm an old school guy. I've Diablo guy. I've had Diablos. I've had Countaches. I've had Mercies.
The car that got him into cars was a white Countach.
White Countach is the one that I fell in love with when I was a kid. Okay. Now the Revuelto has an amazing design. In my opinion, it's a great design. However, I am not a fan of all the technology that's in this cars. I'm not a hybrid guy, so I don't like the hybrid part of it.
It still sounds great though.
It sounds great, but the thing is, I like the sound. Like if you turn on a Murcielago, and then you turn on an Aventador.
Yeah.
The Mercy, it continues sounding good. The Aventador dies down after a minute, right? It's like, okay, it sounds like a Tesla at that point, you know? And then
that's crazy to say for a V12.
When my grandmother can drive a Revuelto, that's how easy it is. Like the doors are so easy to pop up. I remember the Diablo, the doors would hit you in the head, they drop down. You know, half the time the doors didn't open because the locks were malfunctioning.
There used to be a compromise for supercars.
Yes, exactly. It was, you know, the cars were clunky. My Murcielagos, sometimes the wings went up, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes one wing went up on the side and the other one didn't. I'd have to sit there and figure out before I pulled into a neighborhood, am I going to have enough time? Because before there was no air suspension. When there was, it would barely lift sometimes. Now it's like boop, the car goes up.
So we're mad. We're mad that things actually work in the $500,000 cars now. That's what we're mad about.
When exotic cars were exotic cars, they never worked. Okay, half the time they never started. Half the time the stuff was just broken. But that was the beauty of owning one of those cars, is because they were just that. They were made by little old Italian guys, and you know the panel was off a little bit.
It was the struggle of owning one. It was you had to love it.
You had to love it. You loved the struggle. You loved the fact that it was bare bones. And now it's like, okay, I just got in my Audi. Doors go up in this Audi. I can climb out of this car. It's easy. The door's never going to fall back down on my head and hit me in the head.
Yeah.
I know it's going to start up most times, okay?
To most people, this sounds like a great time. I mean...
And let me tell you what else I don't like about the Revuelto, okay?
He's taking over the show
now.
All
right, so here's the issue, okay? When I started buying Lamborghinis, they built a few hundred a year. Okay?
Yeah, that's...
Now, they build 12,000 cars a year.
Yeah, they built like 20,000 Urus.
There's a Lamborghini.
I'm not a fan of the Urus in general.
If you live in Vegas, if you live in New York, if you live in Miami, you live in Dubai, you've seen more Lamborghinis than anything else. They're just, they saturated the market. So now if you want to own something that's unique, it better be a Koenigsegg, it better be a Pagani or something of that sort. They're exotic now. They're the rare ones. But these ones, and it's a great car. Don't get me wrong. A Lamborghini builds an amazing car. I just wish Volkswagen wouldn't have sit there and bastardized them and made so many of them. Not 12,000 people a year do not need to buy a Lamborghini. Keep it minimum, and you know what? People will still buy them, and there'll be a line for people. But obviously they had to put dealers on every corner. So now Lamborghini dealers are like McDonald's. They're on every corner. All right.
Yeah, let's see the comparison here of the two Lamborghinis. The only two that I see in the showroom right now. You know, everyone's going SUV these days. You got the new age SUV, and you got the old school, probably the best sounding Lamborghini they've ever made in the Murcielago. We're gonna see the whole custom tune, exhaust, everything that they did on the Urus sound test. I think someone's finally convinced me on the Urus. That's crazy. Let's get a couple reps out of this. Whoa! Whoa! Holy dude! You never did that. Whew! You gotta take a breather after that.
So, do you change your...
You know what? That's the best argument I've ever heard someone give for the Urus. It was shocking to say the least. You know, after you hear that thing fire up for the first time, you know it's gonna be serious. When you hear it start up, you're like, oh shit, this thing's actually gonna deliver, huh? And then it absolutely delivers. As someone who doesn't love the Lamborghini Urus, if someone loved the Lamborghini Urus, they'd probably be ecstatic about that. And they'd probably be like, yeah, duh, Andrew. It's why everyone's, you know, starting an LLC and moving to Miami is because of the Lamborghini Urus. Come on. Genuinely, what do you think sounds better? I know there's going to be an extreme bias versus the V12 Murcielago. You know, there's going to be an extreme bias towards the V12. But I think if we're being open-minded, I think there's going to be quite a bit of people say the straight pipe Urus, and I'm not even going to fault them for it because it does sound really good. What the f did you do to this car? Did you straight pipe the thing?
Straight pipe, headers.
So this is what you clowns running around without this. You could be sounding like this, and then I'd make it make sense where it's like, okay, you're riding in a cool car. Y'all are riding around in the Audi SQ8 or whatever, damn near sounding the same. No shot you could actually compete in a rev battle against the Murci. You could pull up to the light with a guy driving one of the greatest sounding cars of all time and compete. Is crazy.
That's a lot of work went to it. It's not that easy to make it sound like this, but it's possible.
How long did it take you to do that?
I mean, for us, we used off-shelf components, so it's around a week of work together with other projects. So it's when you know what you do, it's not that big of a deal. Headers, straight pipe, you just order components, and in one day you can swap it and make it sound amazing. But we did the same thing with the same company for the G-Wagon, and it doesn't really change the sound of the car as this worked on Urus. So it depends on the car and on the way how you do it.
Wow. Was the whole point of getting the Urus to make it sound crazy or whatever, or did you guys just need like a shop car and were like this, or like a car to get the mail, and you were like, this is
basically John's daughter car. She calls it grocery shopper. So
the grocery shopper sounds amazing. The grocery shopper
sounds amazing indeed.
Oh my lord.
Performance-wise, as you said, Audi Q8, or you can make better. It's already a nice German powertrain. And like you said with some of the other stuff, some people beat the piss out of these cars so much where it's like unreliable, and they tune it and they f it up. They f up the original engineering, and then you take the grocery getter and it's all of a sudden it's the shop maintenance getter because it's in the shop 24/7, and you can't get any groceries in the grocery getter if it's in the shop all the time, and it defeats the whole purpose of it. Yeah, that's true. So we try to keep cars as crazy as possible, but as well we do understand the original value of the cars and the original engineering decisions made on them. And we try to keep it as most reliable and to the ground in terms of usability of them.
Well, this has been the first time a Urus has impressed me.
Most of the people not really deep into cars, and even people who are into cars, don't even tell that it's a wide body. It looks like it was like this from the factory.
Part of that's just the, like, you know, it's subtle, but it's also paint matched. And you know, some wide bodies, you know, they'll be different, you know, because, or a different color, or like carbon fiber or something. People don't want to paint match them, which I think I honestly think paint matching is a great way to go for that.
Don't expect stuff like this.
No, you don't expect it. It's also practical, it's usable, it gets driven.
This is a cool car.
Yes.
To put in a collection, of course,
Yeah.
most of the people would choose this, but John don't choose. He has both.
The fact that, you know, they were like, oh yeah, this isn't that cool. And there's a lot of TikTok car kids that would freak out over
Trade their
this.
life. for
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
In addition to the cool car, you want to talk about a watch and car combo that S Club has done. It's the one-of-one Lamborghini Murcielago body kit and build that they have here, and the Richard Mille Argentina edition RM030, which is limited to 30 pieces worldwide, that has a matching color combination to it. It is the same color combination as the Murcielago, using white, black, and teal blue. So you've got white on the strap, you've got black for the DLC carbon case that it has, and the teal accents along the case and in the dial and on the crown. I believe this is the watch that he's wearing in these photos and videos. I took a screenshot from it. He wasn't wearing it at the shop while I was doing the tour and was with them. He was wearing different watches, so I've never seen that watch on him in person. So this blurry image here, this is what I'm going off of to be able to see what watch he has. You can kind of see some things going on there, but the iPhone and the screenshots and zooming into a YouTube video has its limitations. I could definitely be way off on that, you know, assumption of which exact model he's wearing. It's not 100% confirmed. That's just an educated guess. Really cool tie-in there. He's a watch guy, he's a jewelry enthusiast. It's fun to tie them both in. S Club does some really cool stuff. You know, come to them for one-of-one cars, and if you need some one-of-one watches, you don't even have to settle for one of 30 over here. We can go one-of-one. We can go crazy. We can go crazy style. Come to me for your jewelry and watch needs. Come to them for their hypercar one-of-one bespoke car needs. But yeah, I'm gonna beg the question one more time. Lamborghini V12 Murcielago exhaust sound, or straight piped with custom headers Lamborghini Urus exhaust sound? This is ultimately a sound comparison video. Which one do you think sounds better?